Hello. I just wanted to talk about worlds. There's all kinds of worlds. You have the world of rich folk, rich poor folk, world of white folk, world of black folk, world of Asian folk, world of ghetto folk, world of people who's trying. It's all these different worlds. Worlds break down into small microcosms, like the world of family, the world of couples, marriage. All those things are different types of worlds. And some worlds are worth sustaining. And what really got me into thinking about worlds and whether they were worthy of being sustained or not was me thinking on past relationships. I was talking to my lady and I was explaining, uh, you know, every relationship was a world that I didn't want to give up. When you give up that world, the memories die. And I wouldn't say they died. It's just the, the they reach an end. There's no more memories being created for that world, and it exists only as a you know kind of like a shadow. But they got this thing going on in Chicago, and these young guys are out here um, living in this world that they have created, a world in which they have value whenever the rest of society sees them as nothing but a problem. In that world, they have power. Their guns, they strike like lightning. They feel like Zeus. They feel like gods. They escape death. They come back from gunshots. They feel like they've resurrected. And these worlds that they've created, it gives them a sense of importance. Just like the other worlds all give all of these people a feeling or a sense that they're important. You know, I'm sure my lady lives in a world where she holds herself as a person of importance because she's loved. She knows her responsibilities and what she takes care of, and I, as her man, I value what she does, and so I substantiate and give strength to that that world. So I'm a sustainer of that world. She's a sustainer of that world. We partake in that reality together. And in Chicago, it's a similar thing going on. They're substantiating those worlds that they're creating where and it's God and there's a good guy and a bad guy. I'm sure in every story, you hear them call themselves demons and savages, and they throw their gang signs and they have their own language. And this world that they've created, they've even expanded it into the entertainment industry. They have fans of them, you know, Lil Durk and these Chief Keef and Lil Reese. All these guys are out here. Now it's on the loudspeaker, the whole world can hear them. And it's sustaining this world that is really detrimental to the community. If you're a black man or woman or child, and we've been in a situation that has been bad for a long time for us, and they're exacerbating stereotypes, and they take pride in it. You can't speak sense to them because of their world is. It's almost like it's the Marvel universe for black men in our country who are living in that lower level of life. And I don't believe at all anybody could talk any sense into anybody, you know. So I wouldn't try to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. I just view it and believe it is a world that shouldn't be sustained. It's a world that I wish would die because of there's so many innocent people dying. It's recruiting people through the fact that it remains valid and no one has stopped it. It causes people to know that as they're growing up in that situation, they've got to be prepared to go into it. It can't be a fiction for them. So the world becomes real as it reinforces itself because it threatens everybody around it. And nobody gives thought to, does that world spread? It very possibly could. The blood gang started off out in California, but it's all the way over to the East Coast, from New York to Virginia. I wouldn't be surprised if there's people in South Korea talking about their blood gang. Worlds expand as it gains fans and people that want to play the fantasy that is that world, because every world is a fantasy. It's what we imagine it to be. Life is pretend. Everything about it. Of course, the results of the choices we make in it have real implications, but it's all a game of pretend. Even our money is pretend. But worlds. And some worlds are worth sustaining, of course. The world that my daughter has, where I'm her dad and reliable, and she could depend on me and trust in me to make sure she's safe. It's a beautiful world. I sustain it for her, but it's still a pretend world because of, does she know that daddy can't stop a stray bullet from shooting through a window and causing her harm? I can't do that. I'm sure in her mind, her innocence, through the grace of God, innocence exists. And she holds me in high esteem. It's a beautiful world that I wish I could sustain. But these worlds that cause such damage, think about what's going on in Israel and Palestine right now. There's worlds at war where there's a group of people who think that they are somehow a holy people, or God has talked to them and they deserve a certain land, and other people who were living there for 1,000+ years and all their ancestors are from there, and they feel like it's land. We live here. Why are you doing this to us? And both of them hold structural beliefs that construct the world that they live in individually. And the disagreement is causing so much bloodshed. Worlds. And I feel like if there's anything that I could say, it would be that worlds are not something people should die for. The worlds are something, if they contain love and kindness and compassion, mercy and grace, the things that we appreciate as human beings, that we would want for ourselves, treat others as we would have others treat us, those worlds are worth sustaining. But any world that causes things to turn to bloodshed should be questioned severely. And I believe that we've reached a point in society where alliances of worlds have begun to congregate in a way that has organized them to go against people, and irregardless of truth or no care for compassion or mercy. It is them versus us and us versus them, and it's basically a big WWF thing. Donald Trump for America was a big example of that. The world of a Trump supporter, they feel like they're at war with the entire world of what they consider liberalism or socialism. The Bernie Sanders, the Bidens, the Hillary Clintons, a nation divided by worlds. And maybe it's time we wake up and realize that we're playing a game of pretend. The money that supposedly we owe in the national debt, and 20+ trillion, and who do we owe it to? That's a world too, a world that believes they owe something, that money isn't real. Do we owe it to God? Nobody's going to outlive the debt. We'll all be dead before anybody could pay it off. It's not real. It's all pretend. And worlds are pretend. It's what we do when we come here. We're biding time until we die. Every last one of us. Every last one of us is pretending that we're not going to die. These worlds. Anyway, I just thought I'd get up here and talk. I talk to my family a lot, and sometimes they tell me I should record videos. And I said I would for a long time, but I decided I would do it tonight. I pray that the Creator bless you all. Think about those worlds you're involved with. The worlds that you're involved with that make you feel like you're somebody important. Is it worth it to sustain that world at the detriment to the health and physical safety, or the mental safety and health of people who are nearby that world you've created? The devil is a liar, and no man is God. Peace.